The unfulfilled promise of Graviton, a frustrated actor's tale from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has always sparked debate among fans about its place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Initially, it was marketed as a key piece of the MCU puzzle, featuring the beloved agent Phil Coulson, played by Clark Gregg, who had captured hearts since his debut in Iron Man, and continued to charm audiences through The Avengers. The first season truly felt like it was part of the larger Marvel narrative, especially with its intriguing Marvel X-Files vibe. However, everything changed dramatically with the release of Captain America, the Winter Soldier, which revealed that S.H.I.E.L.D. had been infiltrated by the nefarious S.H.I.E.L.D. array. This twist forced the show to shift gears, sending its heroes underground. The first season even boasted two memorable cameos from Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, but as the series stretched over 7 seasons, the anticipated crossovers with the Avengers never materialized. Despite the show's efforts to maintain the illusion of being interconnected with the MCU, Coulson never had the chance to reunite with his superhero friends on screen. The reality was that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was never a top priority for Marvel Studios. Instead, it was produced by ABC Studios, Joss Whedon's Mutant Enemy Productions, and Marvel Television, which was then under the guidance of Jeff Loeb, without the direct oversight of Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige. Chloe Bennett, who portrayed Quake/Daisy Johnson, has expressed that the limited connections to the MCU actually allowed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to flourish creatively. Yet the show still clung to the idea that it's all connected. Take, for instance, Season 5, which aired while Avengers: Infinity War was still captivating audiences in theaters. In this season, Air Force Colonel Glenn Talbot, played by Adrian Pasdar, receives a dire warning about Thanos' impending arrival. To protect Earth, he ingests Gravitonium, granting him control over gravity. The character known as Graviton is torn between his desire to save the planet and the potential for destruction. Fans had been eagerly anticipating Graviton's arrival since Season 1, but the decision to merge him with Talbot felt like a curveball. In the comics, Graviton is actually a scientist named Franklin Hall, who was first introduced in the show's 3rd episode, The Asset. In that episode, Hall is seemingly consumed by Gravitonium, leaving viewers with a chilling cliffhanger. But after that, silence. Fans of Graviton were left disappointed, and so was Ian Hart, the actor who portrayed Hall. In a candid interview back in 2014, Hart expressed his frustration about not being invited back to reprise his role. He had been led to believe that his character would return as a formidable villain, only to find out that the show's direction had changed. "They're a bunch of lying gits," he exclaimed, recalling how he was promised an exciting arc that never materialized. Instead, the showrunners opted for a different approach, leaving Hart feeling sidelined. While Hart has remained relatively quiet about his experience since then, the show's executive producers did shed some light on the decision-making process. They explained that Season 5 was crafted with the assumption it might be the last, prompting them to tie up loose ends, including the long-awaited Graviton storyline. They chose to make Talbot the new Graviton because he had been a consistent presence throughout the series, making his transformation into a villain all the more poignant. Interestingly, while Hart is not alone in his disappointment, many fans shared his sentiments. As a former Marvel enthusiast myself, I remember eagerly following Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. during its first season, only to feel let down by the lack of familiar comic book characters. The prospect of seeing Graviton on screen was thrilling, especially since I had previously enjoyed his portrayal in the animated series Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, where he was depicted as a formidable foe for the Avengers. In that show, Graviton was treated as a serious threat, showcasing his powers in a way that made him feel like a true villain. Unfortunately, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. took a different route, leaving fans yearning for the epic showdown they had hoped for since the beginning.